Hello. Hey, hopefully, you know what? I should have brought this up so I would know that this was really going. Let me see. I'm going to bring up my YouTube over here. All right, view your channel. It says live. All right. Make sure I have that muted. Okay. So, all right, let me say hello. What's up, Lakeisha? What's up, Jill? Twin? About to make green eggs and ham. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. Hey, Dee Dee. Happy Monday. I have missed you guys too. Happy to be able to show up tonight. What's up, MVP? Let's see. Hey, Nia. What's up? All right. So, okay, let me tell you about today. So, I ordered some me and TJ, we ordered some new glasses last week and they got here today. So, I will not be squinting or doing any of that and I'm able to see, you know, at a good distance and up close without having to take them off, and I won't have to constantly adjust them. I also had my second orthodontic appointment and got my wires changed. And look, I picked it's got a turquoise color, so switched it up from the black. What's up, Teddy? Hey, Paul. I feel like it's been forever. What's up, Virginia? Hey, Sherry. Understandable. I'm happy you were even able to stop by. Honestly, I thought it would be one of those out of sight, out of mind type of things. Let's see. Hey, Pamela. What's up? What's up, Nicole? All right. So, what I figured I'd talk about, first of all, let me tell you, I did record most of the update video, and I did it on my DJI. And then my daughter was performing on Saturday, and I deleted it. I deleted it so I could free up space, and I didn't mean to delete that one. So I will be re-recording it tomorrow. I'm not going to promise a day when I'm going to post it, but I'm definitely going to re-record it tomorrow. But what I am going to do is answer the questions that some of you put on the community post about, my 2-year journey. So instead of putting that in the video, I'll just do that tonight. Let me see. Thank you. Thank you. They're super lightweight. They're super lightweight. It's good to see you too, Andrea. All right, so what I'm gonna do is all right, I'll ask you guys. We could do the map first, or I can get to the questions first. What do you guys want to do? And let me see, while I'm waiting for you to do that, let me get it out of my pocket and I'll pull up the questions just so I have them ready. Okay, let's go to, I did screenshots of them. And that was the part of my video that I didn't do, so it's a shame. Okay, let's see, what do we say here? Map? All right, we'll start with the map. So let's go to that screen. All right, and then let me see, reload. Okay, actually give me one moment and then we'll do that. Okay. All right, there we go. And we will do North America. And I will zoom in here. And now we'll go back to it. All right. So, as usual, you'll just put in whatever you're comfortable with, right? You could put the state, you could put the city and state. I have no way of tracking you, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. All right. Oh, Virginia said questions. All right. So we're going to start popping up on here. And I just want to see, I like doing this because it's a good way of, there's so many of us, right? And we are all coming together for like a common goal. And we're from different areas of the United States. Sometimes we have people from other countries. So I think that that's really cool. And I didn't put myself on here, so hopefully you guys can see okay. All right. We're going to move that over in the middle a little bit. Look at that. So we've got the Midwest, we've got the East Coast, we've got the South, the West Coast. We're all over. And see, I think, let me do this. All right, pop myself on up there. Okay. So let's see, we have, okay, Iowa Colony, Texas, okay. Oregon, I'll just say the state. So we've got Texas, we've got Oregon, Michigan, more Texas, Maryland, New York, Louisiana. We got the Bronx, Minnesota. Hey, Pam. South Carolina, Central California. All right. Thanks for coming by, Lori. Okay, we got Maine. Hey, Maine. Is it still freezing up there right now? And did you get hit with the blizzard? All right, let's see. I don't know how to. That's okay, Nancy. Okay, so people can still put those up there, but what I'm going to do is I want to get to answering questions. So I'm going to come over here, and then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to pull up the questions. Let me go to my YouTube. I want to say that I have been on Zepbound for 2 years, and I feel like it is just as effective as it was in the very beginning. So I know that a lot of people, or I should say, I see that a lot of people start to struggle. I don't know if it's in the middle. The things that I struggled with have never been about the medication. So for me, it's been external factors, things going on with my family, lack of motivation. And I don't think that that has anything to do with the medication. The lack of motivation is just something that I have experienced historically throughout the years before I even knew of a GLP-1. So certain times of the year that happens for me. It started a little bit earlier last year, but again, there were, different things going on. And then when it seemed like I was coming out of it, I had other stressors. But something that I stayed on top of was making sure that I basically eat the same way. I am not moving my body as much as I was at one point, but I reduced my calories just a bit to kind of balance that out. So my highest weight was 216 pounds. My starting weight on Zepbound was 183 pounds, and I'm currently holding steady at 130. So my initial goal, which honestly I didn't think I would get to that, was 135 pounds. And I got to that weight. I've been saying July. It was the end of July, very end of July, beginning of August, and that was in 2024. So it was like 26 weeks. Took me 26 weeks. And I didn't stop. So even though I got there, it wasn't like this, all right, now I've arrived. I just kept going. And I think that that's what's important. And sometimes I think it's really important to set new goals. So if you're someone who is goal oriented and you look at it as a deadline, you may struggle when you get there. So you want to have maybe set some micro goals. get some systems in place so that when you do get there, or if you come across some stumbling blocks, you know how to come out of that. And if I'm talking weird, excuse me, I'm still getting used to, these just got tightened today, so I feel like I'm speaking a little weird. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the questions. All right. So, in no particular order, the green tulip, thought I saw lights flashing. The green tulips asked, how did you keep yourself motivated in the middle of your journey? There are a lot of videos for newbies and a lot for those on maintenance. But what about the person who's lost 20, 30, or 40 pounds, but still has that much left to still lose? Also, I really like your videos and calm demeanor. So I want to say that there wasn't really a middle, right? I was able to pretty much, I was very focused. For the first year, I stayed consistent and I'm sorry, gotta turn off the ringer here. I stayed consistent and it really wasn't any effort. And I think it's important to say that, right? Because you have times where you're super motivated and you have times where that's going to fade. It took me about a year for that to happen. And actually, it was a little over a year. So, okay, I started my Zepbound journey in February of 2024. I started working out 2 weeks into my journey. So I was strength training consistently. And if you've been here a while, you have heard me say the only day I missed was the day of the eclipse. So outside of that, whatever program I was doing, I followed it. So if it was a 4-day-a-week program, I was doing it 4 days. If it was 5 days, I was sticking with them. So right around the time in June of 2025, I had finished a program and it was right before we went on a cruise. So I didn't do anything that week. That was like my first week of taking a break. And also something I noticed, I couldn't like put my finger on what I wanted to do next. So when I got back, that was a struggle, like figuring out what I wanted to do, where before it was super easy. So started working out at a gym and I did that for about, I want to say I did that for 12 weeks. And then everything going on kind of got the best of me. And I allowed myself an excuse. And it really was just an excuse of, first it started with, oh, I don't have to post everything. So I went from posting everything all the time to, I don't have to post everything. And I was giving myself an out. I was giving myself an out because I knew I had gotten to a point where I didn't feel like doing that stuff to that degree anymore. And kind of embarrassed, like about showing up. So I made an excuse. I gave myself an excuse, not really you guys. And then when everything started happening, it was very easy for me to just kind of put it on the back burner. But something I didn't do is I didn't allow myself to completely get out of control. So I was doing some form of movement, but nothing to the degree as before. So I can't tell you how to be motivated. Like I wish I had that magic solution. You just have to, your actions have to align with your goals. So if you take nothing else away from this live stream today, I want you to know that whatever your goals are, like whatever it is you're trying to do, whatever you got on this medication for, just know that you have to keep doing it to some degree, right? So if you're hardcore, you know, doing all these different programs and so of course if you're doing that you want to make sure you're eating enough, but if you reduce your activity level you need to make sure what you're eating lines up with that. So I got down as low as 125 pounds. That was too small for me. I didn't want to, my goal when I started this was never to be skinny, right? I spent the majority of my life that way, so that wasn't appealing to me. I wanted to be healthy and I wanted to feel good in my skin. So when I got down that low, I was like, oh, that's not working for me. But when I stopped moving my body as much, I started gaining some weight. and I got up to 135. That wasn't an issue for me. But I realized, okay, if I continue to eat the volume that I've been eating, it's going to continue to go up because my movement wasn't aligned with that. So I dropped my calories just a little bit, nothing crazy. I'm not doing 1200 or 1300. Not that that's crazy, but that's not enough for me. So I would say that right now I'm probably doing between, if I had to guess, between 16 and 1800 calories a day. So that works for me, and I've been holding steady at 130. So we have some fluctuations of like 130.6, 130.8, but all in all, I've been maintaining at 130. So I'm not trying to gain or lose. I want to just maintain. And that's been working out well. I don't feel burnt out. Um, I don't hate the way that I eat. I'm not focused on that all the time. And yeah, I did sign up again for the Y, and I want to do their e-gym. So that if you're not familiar with that, maybe I'll do a video talking about that if you're interested. But I do plan to get back into some strength training, and this is just about, again, maintaining. So that's a long-winded answer. I promise they won't all be like that. Um, Rita said she's interested in all of my journey. Down in the Dale, Shelly said, no questions because other people here ask similar. Um, I'm just here to say I always love your positive attitude no matter what's going on. And Snoopy on the TV screen. Thank you. All right, so Nancy said, did you have any habits that were tough to break? I find that I'm having a harder time breaking habits than actual food noise. For example, every time I would go anywhere, I would automatically run through a drive-through. I don't even want the food or drinks anymore, but I just find myself in the habit. It is getting better. I was Things were different for me this time than they were when I did Manjaro back in 2023. So I I was very intentional. I was very intentional that I wasn't going to be eating a lot of ultra processed foods, going to fast food places. My goal was to prepare things at home when I could. So I had to, and it's a routine, right? We get into these routines of doing some of these same things all the time. I had to just change it. And it was, I was so excited in the beginning. It was very, very easy. So by the time I guess it would have become an issue, it was already a habit for me. But I would start small. Like when we try to overhaul everything, sometimes that's too much. So maybe get rid of the thing that you think is the worst and kind of, work backwards. All right, let me check out the comments before I continue because I don't want to, it's too late. I'm definitely a little bit behind. Okay. Um, I do believe I said hello to Pam. Let's see. I think I said hello to Paul. Hey, Nancy. All right. Okay, so I did make it that far. Hey, Patricia. What's up, New Jersey? 9 degrees. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, thank you, Teddy. Thank you. Hey, Harjarine. What's up, JC? Let's see. I'm just scrolling through. What's up, Darium? Okay, okay. Hey, Shonda. What's up, Rita? All right. Sounds good. Okay, so I am caught up. Perfect, perfect. All right, so here we go. That's it about the habits. I just I was so tired of going through that same cycle over and over again. I was like, okay, I was really focused. I was laser focused when I started. All right, so we came down to Purple Bellflower. What is your honest assessment of being in maintenance versus active weight loss? I think that sometimes we can be under this illusion that once you get to maintenance, that is when you can, like, you don't have to work as hard. And I would have to say that I would challenge anyone thinking that way. I think it's just as much work. Um, it's just as much work. And so if you're going from trying to lose weight and just maintaining, the great thing is you can play around with things to see what works for you. So you will probably want to increase your calories to some degree so that you don't continue to lose. But I feel like it kind of seems the same. Kind of seems the same. Especially if you go into it with this outlook of this is my life now. This is a lifestyle. So that's my assessment. All right, Paul said, "What would your current self say to you at the start of your journey?" At the very, very beginning, I would have. That's a good question. So, Paul, I think that everything that happened needed to happen. So I was super excited and I was weighing myself every day. The scale was moving. I was mindful of what I was eating, but I wasn't counting calories. So I don't know exactly how much I was eating back then, but I do know I was weighing out things and just trying to get a grasp of portion size. I'm so thankful that I did DEXA scans because if it had not been for that, I would not have known the significant amount of muscle I lost in the beginning. Significant. And so that needed to happen because that is what I want to say inspired. That is what made me start tracking everything. And then I was being mindful and keeping track of everything. So I think everything this time that happened the way that it needed to. I was not in a rush. I was excited about the scale moving, but I wasn't in a rush. Like, oh, I'm trying to get there in a month. Like I didn't have. It was moving faster than I thought it was going to. But I suspect it's because I wasn't eating enough. But I can't tell you exactly how much that was because I wasn't keeping track of the calories in the very beginning. So when I started doing it, it was so I could know, right? And then if anything changed, I wanted to be able, like, there was a point where I could pinpoint it because I was keeping track of all of my meals, all of the calories, all of my movement. So if something changed or if something didn't change, like when my dose went down, everything was the same, but I started gaining weight, I knew I didn't do anything differently. So that's how I was able to figure out it was inflammation. And when I went back up to 5, we've been coasting. We've been coasting. So I I I was already locked in this time. I was already locked in this time. All right, so we have Purple Bellflower. In your reflection, what has surprised you most about where you are today, mentally and physically? That it's still working. I guess I thought because if you watch other people's stories, sometimes it's easy to think that that's going to happen to you too. And I would see so many people like saying, "Oh, the medication is not working for me anymore," or I was like waiting for what is it, the phrase, the other shoe to drop, and that didn't happen, or it hasn't happened yet. So I feel like I'm still locked in. And what's different now than any time in the past is this is a lifestyle for me. I didn't have like a goal and I'm done. This is just my life, right? Whether I'm on vacation, visiting friends or family, if I go to a party, if I go somewhere and they don't, I'm checking ahead of time to make sure I can be accommodated. And if not, I'm prepared, you know for the most part. There are some situations where it's hard to do that, but I just this is my lifestyle. So it's on all the time so that it's not difficult and something that I have to get back to because that's just what I do every day. Um, Mentally, I don't have the coping. So sometimes like I ate all the time. It wasn't necessarily because I was sad or happy, but things could probably be in excess if I was down or stressed. And I don't have that. It's not even in my mind to turn to food for comfort, right? I just I mean, I just eat. So it's not like, oh, well, I'm going to go get a package of cookie dough and sit here and eat it and watch TV. Like I'm just, food does not provide that for me anymore. So in some senses, I have to feel my feelings and process things. Um, and it's gotten easier. Uh, yeah, it's gotten easier. So hopefully that, and physically, I'm great. My blood work is better than it's been in years. Even before I started having weight issues, I had issues with cholesterol and some other things, and those are great. My kidney function is fantastic. So these are things that are important to me. As long as my labs are where they need to be, I'm happy. And physically, I feel good. I'm not in pain all the time. I'm able to, I know I've said this a lot, go up and down the stairs without being winded or in pain, get in and out of my car. I don't have to park in the front, right? I can choose to, but it's not something I have to do. So if there's no parking spaces in the front, I'm fine with parking a little farther. I feel like when I go places, I'm not like, oh my God, I'm ready to go home because I don't feel well, or wanting to go home so I can eat. I think my quality of life is so much better now. And it's surprising to me that I'm still on. All right. Let's see. I think it's Rachel A. Um, Rachela says, how did your diet change from year one to year two? I am not afraid like I used to be. Like I was afraid to try different things. This fear was kind of guiding a lot of my behaviors. I don't feel that anymore, right? When I went on the cruise and I was able to eat snacks and not feel, first of all, not feel like I had to eat more and more and more and more of them, that was great. But being able to eat them and be satisfied and be like, okay, that was good. So that's a difference. That first year, I wasn't trying anything. I wasn't trying anything. So I don't feel like I have to be ultra restrictive. Like I'm going to my granddaughter's birthday party next weekend. And if my daughter does get a vegan cake for her, I'm going to have some cake because I know that I can do that in moderation. So I'm not afraid of anything anymore. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to go out and just start eating stuff just to eat it, but I'm allowing myself to do certain things and being okay with that. All right, let's see. Latanya, me? What did you tell your daughter about the difference in your weight loss journey and hers? So, sadly, she has seen some of the unhealthy ways that I tried to do things in the past. And so, what she got to see from 2020 to 2021, when I had that health scare, she got to see me do it in a healthy way. I was working out. I diet was better. It wasn't like it is now, but she got to see me do it that way instead of being restrictive. So she knows that for me, it's important for me to be healthy, and that's what I want for her. Um, she's not overweight in any way, shape, or form. So I don't really like, she's still not here. I don't really talk about, not even, not really. We don't talk about weight. There's no scales for her to have access to. It's more about nutrition, right? Focusing on proper nutrition. And that's what she sees. She sees that I am eating, right? And my volume is it's a decent amount. TJ thinks it's a lot, but and when my mom came to visit, she got to see that as well. Like, okay, so you're eating. Yeah. Yeah, I'm eating, but I'm not eating and having seconds and thirds and sometimes fourths. You know what I mean? I'm able to eat this food. And another thing, I'm not forcing myself. So, like, let's say I'm heavy handed with my portion. I know that I don't have to clean my plate. That was something else I used to do. I had to eat every bite on the plate. I don't do that. It's something that I can come back to just to make sure I'm getting in proper nutrition. But I try to focus more on that And when she comes home, I'll be making her, preparing her stuff for her so she doesn't even have to think about that. So that's the difference. Mine was, it was medically necessary for me to make those lifestyle changes, whereas she's she was in the mindset that she didn't care. She just wanted, I don't know, these kids talk about thigh gaps and hip dips and things like that. I'm oblivious to that. I have been kind of venturing out there on the internet to kind of see the things that she was looking at, and I could understand being a young girl, how you could be sucked into that. So just I just have to be the example for her. So as long as I'm showing her the right way, I can feel good about that. And that is just not what, you know, what she saw all the time. Okay. And then Lynn said, "Did you experience any anhedonia on your journey, and has that gone away?" So that's a good question. So with the food, it does not bring me the level, like it doesn't do for me what it used to, right? Even eating snacks, I can eat something and be like, this is good, but it's not like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever, where. So I guess I would say maybe a bit, maybe a bit. I'm definitely not moved or motivated by food like I used to. Sometimes it feels like a chore, if, being completely honest with you. And it's not to the degree as it was in the beginning, but I'm still, I would say I could take it or leave it, but I know I have to eat. So it's just, I eat because I know I need to. Now, physically, if I go too long, like if I get up in the morning and I run errands and I didn't eat ahead of time, I can start to feel like, oh yeah, I didn't eat. I better eat something. So physically, I'll have a response, right? But mentally, that when I tell you that switch is off, it's still off. And then I don't get the level of enjoyment that I used to. But I am able to enjoy food. So hopefully that makes sense. Grace said, as a vegan on Zepbound, how are you hitting your protein goals without meat? Well, for anyone that has that's new, or if you've been here, you know that I was keeping track on Instagram, and for a while I was putting in the calories and the macros. So anyone interested in that, you are welcome. You don't have to follow my Instagram account. It's public. You can go in there and you can see. And I did that for quite a while. And I did that because I needed to do that and I wanted to share it. But I feel like I'm at a place where I don't need to do that anymore. So, but the information is still there. So it's tofu, I do chickpea pasta, quinoa, beans, like those are like my protein sources. I don't do any faux meats. Once upon a time, I used to consume those at high quantity, but I don't necessarily feel like those are healthy. Now, if I went somewhere and that was my only option, um, maybe I'd have it. But as far as me purchasing it and making it at home, I don't do a lot of that because in my mind, that is in the same category as ultra processed foods. And I don't want to do anything to mess up the wiring, right? If we eat foods that are designed to make you want to eat more, that kind of goes against, for me, what I'm on this medication for. I don't need anything to turn the food noise on. So that's how I'm getting my protein goals. All right. So Nicole, we have two more, by the way. Nicole says, in looking back over your weight loss attempts in the past, what makes this time different? My mom had made the comment to me, this was after the last time I lost weight and gained and started gaining it back, that I needed to make a choice. That either I was going to be fat or not. But this gaining these extreme amounts of weight, losing them, gaining them, and losing them it's just not healthy. And I didn't want to feel like I had really gotten to the point where I was tired of feeling like I was feeling. Like I could not go on like that. And then with the medical issues I was having, It's funny when people talk about these medications and like, oh, you don't know what it's going to be like 10 years from now. Yeah, we don't. I may not have been here. I may not have been here anyway. So if this is prolonging my life and it gives me the ability to live a healthier life, make good choices, it's worth it to me because the direction that I was going, I would have been in an early grave anyway. And my dad died at 44. So I've already outlived my father and he wasn't overweight, but that's what I'm saying. Like you just don't know. So my quality of life is better and I don't want to lose this feeling. So this is something that I stay mindful. I have pictures in my phone. I've got old videos, things I can look at to reference those times where I felt miserable, you know? And I wasn't able to show up for my family like I am now. So this time, I felt like my life, I didn't want to die. I didn't want to die. Let's see. The last one is from Geraldine. Hello, Taisha. My question is, did you find it was beneficial to step back at times to reset your journey or your mindset? I, the times that I've had to step back again were for other things going on. The mindset shift that I had to make it was regarding content creation, like how I want to show up. Do I want to be focused on trying to make thumbnails and titles that are catchy? Did I want to stay stuck in the broken record of, oh my gosh, I lost X amount of pounds and, or, you know, I didn't want to do that. What I wanted to do, I had to figure that out. I want to come up here and just talk to you about my wins, my struggles, how things are going for me, give you advice, tips, get information from you guys, tips, advice. That is how I want to show up, right? I'm not chasing an algorithm. I never did master that whole thumbnail thing anyway, but I'm just, I just want to show up. When I first started this channel, it was to share my journey so that other people didn't feel alone. And I know that that's what I was looking for, like seeing someone else and seeing what they were experiencing. And that's why I think that if you're someone that is comfortable with it, when you're struggling, don't disappear because you're struggling, right? If you're sharing your journey and you're struggling with the weight not moving as quickly as you wanted to, don't disappear because other people are experiencing that as well. Maybe I didn't experience that, but consistency, that has not been something that has been this, you know, for a while, I think a lot of you guys thought I was the queen of consistency. I was when I was, right? But when you're motivated, it's very easy to stay consistent, So you have to make these lifestyle changes and it's okay to change things up. So that's my goal. I did step back from live streaming because I don't have the ability to pretend to be happy when I'm not. And I don't like to be a Debbie Downer, right? And I had a lot going on. And so I'm able to talk about things and not feel so emotional because I'm also someone that I'm not going to be showing up here crying and doing all of that. I am not knocking people who do that. That's that's not something I want to do. I think I cried once and it was during one of the live streams that thankfully was members only and I hated that. That's just I don't like it. So my focus, like when I show up, I want to show up and be here and be present. I couldn't do that for a while. So I thought, okay, I can't go every Monday. Let me dial it back to one Monday a month. And last month I just wasn't able to. And it was right around the time, my daughter wasn't having a good day. So a lot of my emotions are affected by that. So anyway, I'm here and I've definitely missed doing this. This is something I enjoy, but I always want to, show up as myself. And if I try to make myself, upbeat when I'm feeling low, it's over the top. So So that's also something I don't want to do. So I'm going to go into the comments now because I've been kind of rambling on here. But I did answer all the questions. And if you guys have any questions, because I'm going to, and you know, unless I can't get through the chat, my goal is to get off at 8. You know, I'm a 1 hour is good enough. So let me see. I'm going to go through the rest of the comments, and if you have any questions, just put a capital Q in front of it, and I'll be able to see that. Oh, someone else. All right, let me scroll up. Let me see. And if I have missed you, I want to say I'm sorry. It's definitely not intentional. But I, you know, again, wanted to come up here and talk to you guys. So let's see. I feel like, all right. I think I said hi to Sherry. Hey, Grace. All right. What's up, Paula? All right. I don't think I did say hi to Nancy. Hey, Anissa. I'm just scrolling through the haze. Hey, Cookie, what's up, girl? Hey, Michelle, what's up? All right, scrolling. Um, all right, it's a little bit of awkward silence. I'm just scrolling through. Okay, I think yes. Please remember to like the live. Um, let's see. Yes, I was answering the questions, and if you again, if you guys have any, make sure you put them in there, and I'll definitely get to them while we're on here. Um, I've joined in the middle. Hey, Dale or Shelly. I do that. I do that. Hey, Shelly. um, okay. Yes. Hey, Shonda. And I may say it again, guys. Bear with me. Amrod. This is my first live chat to join. I'm glad I was able to. Currently at work. Third shift. When I was in the Air Force, when I was stationed in Korea, I worked the second half of my tour there. I worked that shift. I felt like I was missing out on everything. Um, all right. And welcome. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Get your mind ready for a teenager. Yes. If I could, you know, this is my 2 cents. If you could prolong their exposure to social media, I would definitely say to do that. A lot of times there's really good things on there. And I think that I underestimated because I hear a lot of people, they'll say, you know, well, when I'm a parent, this is what I'm going to do. And it's very easy to say that, right? I felt like I raised my girls in a way where they could talk to me and be honest. And, you know, um, I didn't realize like I didn't see those bad areas. And I say they're bad areas. There's some toxic areas all over the place. And I should have been more vigilant. I should have been more vigilant. So, Dee Dee, I'm sure you know this already, but if you could prolong that exposure to um, social media, I think that would be beneficial. Um, let's see. All right, y'all are bringing back memories. Hey, Tracy. Thank you. I'm glad to see you here. All right, I'm going down. Gray hairs. I know. Speaking of gray hairs, they are in there. The rapture, Grace, you're silly. Um, let's see, going down, going down. Chi Chi. Oh, I missed. Okay, hey Chi Chi, what's up? I missed her. All right, let's see. Hey Brenda, what's up? All right, yeah, I don't think they're gonna be able to get over on her either, Michelle. All right, here we go. The authenticity of why you began on YouTube in the first place. Yeah, yeah. I didn't get on. I didn't expect to have this amount of subscribers, which is really great. Um, but I realized there came a point where I lost my audience, right? Because if you have 4,500 subscribers and only three or 400 are watching, somewhere I change. But what I've pivoted to is what I feel good about. And I know Dee Dee was talking about some of this on her live stream last night. Um, I'm not chasing that. You know what I mean? Now, who doesn't want to have views? But like, I'm not doing stuff like, oh, yeah, this is the video. No, someone somewhere will find it and they'll be interested in it and they'll watch it. And maybe they won't like everything. And maybe they'll hear a message at the right time. You know, I just don't want people to feel alone. So, yeah, I had to really remember why I started doing this. And it wasn't for that. So, yeah, I feel good. I feel good about it. Thank you, Paula. I really appreciate that. Um, yeah, don't disappear. Consistently inconsistent. That's all right. That's all right. It takes work. It takes work, Brenda, but you can do it. MVP. Oh, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys being here because I know there's so many of us and everybody's journey is different. I think that's the beauty of it. You just take bits and pieces, whatever works for you. So thank you, Shonda. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm scrolling down. All right. Hey, Deb, what's up? Brenda said, I'm a crier, complainer, Debbie Downer. Oh, that's okay. Again, there's somebody out here for everybody. I I don't, but I don't like that even in my personal life. Like I'm not someone who's, crying to my friends. Like I got to be really down and you have to just catch me at that time. You know what I mean? I've always been kind of reserved like that and not someone who wants to cry in front of people. And I don't judge other people that do that. It's just not for me. Hey, Gretchen, what's up? Let me see. Yeah, exactly, Paula. Just be, Brenda, you got to be you. Let me see. Prolonging social media. Yeah, it can be pretty detrimental. Okay, so I don't see any questions. Let's see. Michelle said, I appreciate how thoughtful you are in all your insights. It helped me so much, especially at the beginning. Know you influence many. I appreciate that. I do. And it means a lot because I do want to help people, but not at the expense of sacrificing myself for who I am or trying to be someone I'm not, or, yeah, I can be the best me. That's the only me I can be. Brenda, that's okay. It is okay. Patricia, I'm so glad I found you. You are so down to earth and relatable. Thank you. Thanks for being you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you guys for rocking with me and accepting me as me and realizing like that, I may not offer like these entertaining stories, but I hope that it's something that I came to realize is that I am never going to understand what someone who has struggled with weight their whole life, I'm never going to be able to understand that, right? I'm never going to know what it feels like to be in a 300, 400, 500-pound body. But what I do understand is not feeling comfortable in your own skin. I do understand what it feels like when you feel like you don't have control over what you eat and how much you eat, right? Like you're driven by it. I understand how hard it is to stay consistent or feel motivated and push yourself. I can relate to that. I can relate to feeling like you're going to your doctor and you're telling them these things and they tell you, oh, it's just diet and exercise. Eat a little bit less and move more. Yeah, we know that. We know that. That's the problem. It's hard to do that sometimes. So I can understand that. And you probably don't understand, some of you don't understand what it feels like where you grow up the majority, your first 30 something years of life, basically eating in a way that's not good for you, but it not reflecting in your weight at all. And then all of a sudden it does. So then we're in the same position, right? It wasn't a lifelong thing for me, but I did get to a point where my terrible habits caught up to me. And it was very, very difficult prior to being on this medication to break them. So then you do the mental work. I'm a big proponent of therapy. I am not in therapy at this moment. I probably should be, but it's there. It's there when I feel like I need to go back to it. So it's not a dirty word, and it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you or that you're broken. You don't have to have had traumatic things happen to you. Sometimes we need someone that we can talk to that is objective, someone that's not close to us and emotionally involved that can help us think about things in a more logical manner, and where we don't feel broken, right? Like, no, this is, when I heard the term food noise, I was from a therapist. So and it made sense and it made me feel like, okay, there's not necessarily something wrong with me. I'm wired a bit differently, but I'm not broken and there's not something wrong with me. So those things can help with that. All right, let me let me keep going here. Okay, we got a question. Hey, Mindy, what's up? Okay, okay. It's good to see you. Go down. Hey, Darium, the best you is all any of us can ask for. We shall take you as you are and what you offer to the community. I appreciate that, Darium. You know, I feel like I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot by listening to other people's experiences also. Um, Things that I just wouldn't have thought about. You know what I mean? Um, oh, we got a question. All right, let's see. All right. I am 7 pounds from goal. What advice can you give me in maintenance? Okay. So your goal weight, my advice is to keep doing what you've been doing. When you get to your goal, I would recommend slowly, like if you're gonna bring your calories up, maybe bring them up slowly. There's a name for that. Um, Maybe somebody will put it in the chat, but let's say let's say I'm just throwing out numbers, right? Let's say you're at 1600 right now. Maybe you go up to 1700 and see, do that for a while and see. You want to just probably get to a point where you're not continuing to lose, but you don't start gaining. So finding that, maybe if you haven't been tracking, kind of track things to just to make sure that you're not doing too much or too little. And then, just keep going. Whatever you've been doing, keep doing that. So whatever that movement looks like for you, keep doing some form of movement, but just know that maintenance is not the finish line. That is when some additional work begins because now you've got to figure out what your new normal is. So I would and also congratulations. Congratulations. There are a lot of people who give up before they get to their goal. For whatever reason, whether it's a financial thing or they're just frustrated or, they give up. And the fact that you kept going, that's that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And you got this. This is the part though where we got to really dial things in. So that is my advice. Keep going and kind of figure out what your new normal is going to be. Thank you, Michelle. That's it, right? Scrolling down, lovely. Hey, what's up? How you doing, lovely? All right. Scrolling down, scrolling down. Amrod, I just want to say watching your videos gives me a sigh of relief because the things you say definitely make me rethink some things when the journey starts to feel tough or confusing. And that's also a normal part, right? I think some of the complaints I got towards the beginning was that I make it look really easy. And I don't think I was trying to oversimplify things. I was in a phase where it was easy for me. But if everything had just been so easy, I would have never gotten to that state in the first place. You know what I mean? Um, so I appreciate that my videos help you. That really means a lot. Let me see. Paul, I do have a question. How do you like whatever that number is? Because we set these goals. Why that number? Because I'll hear people say they're 2 pounds away, 3 pounds away, and it's taken forever. But is there a particular reason that you're shooting for that number? I'm going to go down. Okay. CEO of the Messy Middle. Therapy is a welcome respite, especially when you're internalizing everything. Absolutely. And a lot of us do that, right? Have you felt any binging tendencies throughout the journey? I have heard this is common to resurface for people on higher doses. So I was curious with you being on the 5 milligrams for over a year. I have not. I have not. Um, Not yet. And I say not yet, it's not a form of self sabotage or I'm being negative, but I know that anything can happen. I'm not some special miraculous, case. As of today, Monday, March 2nd, 2026, I have not. If I do start to feel those things though, I will absolutely share them with you. I will absolutely share them with you. Nor have I had food noise. So even if that starts to creep in, I'll let you guys know. So far, we're good. Reverse dieting. Yes, yes, Grace. That's what it's called. And that is when you start adding your, you know what? Let me I'm going to type it in so I can give you reverse dieting. Okay. So, I'm just going to read it, okay? Reverse dieting is a strategic post weight loss approach that involves gradually increasing calorie intake by 50 to 100 calories per day every 1 to 2 weeks. It aims to boost metabolism, restore hormonal balance, and prevent rapid weight gain after prolonged caloric restriction. Let me just copy this and put it in here. I'm just going to put it in the comments. Hopefully, there we go. So basically, it mitigates weight regain, helps to avoid the yo-yo effect of losing weight, improves metabolic health, and it's a psychological relief. So it's one of those slow and steady things. You want to introduce things back so it's not like you're going from 1600 to 1800 right away. Gives your body a chance to adjust. All right, let me see. Scroll back up. My goodness. Okay. So we answered what is reverse diet. Okay. Yes, adding calories back. Slowly though. Slowly. I didn't track during. Okay, let's see. All right, here's another question. How do you handle appetite changes on Zepbound while still modeling healthy eating for your kids? I have to be intentional and make sure that I'm eating. So I haven't had any increase, right? Any increase in appetite, but just making sure that they see me eating and it's pretty balanced. Um, that's important. That's important. Oh man, a dislike. Sheesh. But yeah, that's and I haven't had a chance. So the little one, she would she would watch what I was eating, and she's not a vegan. So I'm gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do because I'm not gonna force her to do that just because I'm doing that. But maybe one of the other sisters will prepare the meat and I can prepare the sides. But just making sure that one, it's more nutrition focused instead of calorie focused, right? Where in the back of my mind, I know what it is, but not leading with that. Like, oh, you got to get more calories in, more about nutrition, making sure we have enough nutrition, proper nutrition. We want to be able to fuel ourselves for things to function the way they're supposed to. Hopefully that answered that, Grace. All right. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. So let me get through here. Let me get through here. Figuring out what your new normal is. You got this. Yeah, and I am still a work in progress too, MVP. I'm scrolling down. I like that quote. If you're going through, keep going. Okay. I'm seven. Hold on one second. Cerberus, please. It's too much. All right, let's see. 7.8 pounds away from having a normal BMI and trying to drop body fat. Okay. Okay. Well, you got this, Anissa. That was a weight I could make. Okay, so that's what you could maintain before. That does make sense. It does make sense, Paula. Let's see. I'm scrolling through just to make sure that there are. Oh, here we go. We got a question. Did you did you know I'm still trying to get on the floor from those planes? You know what? Just start off with some small amounts of time. Okay, Mindy, you're up to 2100 and you've got to be able to support again, guys, proper nutrition. Mindy does a lot, so she's got to be able to support that. All right, let's see. We're scrolling down. Hey, Charles. How you doing? Thanks for stopping in. And also, if you guys would check, I shared a video that for those of you who are interested in coming off the medication, I did share a video that Charles did, Round Mountain of Zepbound, on the studies. Was it Surmount 4 of people's experiences coming off? And so there's a lot of data there, and I'm not going to give any of it away, but I did put that on my community tab. I think you should check it out. All right, yeah, you see when Bellflower drops those mics, that means we're about to go. Okay. All right. Well, I want to say thank you guys. Hopefully I can come back Monday, the first Monday of April. I will let you know ahead of time, and I'll be re-recording my 2-year update video. So I am going to leave you with, we can share our journeys, but we should never compare them. Bye.